Welcome back to my workshop, welcome back to my garage. What we're getting ready to do is embark on another guitar build. So what I'm looking for right now is a little bit of feedback from you to see which way I want to go. I've got several body blanks, several body shapes that I'm going to be planning on working on. So please leave a comment below, tell me what you think, tell me which one we should move forward on. I'm going to give you an overview of all of them right now. The first one is an LP shaped guitar. And what I'm looking to do, if I do that one, is I've got a nice mahogany blank, 1 3/4 inch thick. I'm going to do this just as like a Blues Junior type thing with a wraparound bridge, a dog ear P90, mahogany neck. So that's what I'm looking for this one. So tell me what you think about that. I also have this beautiful piece of black limba that I could use for the LP body shape. This one's really nice. I like the figuring down the center of the wood. That one's really good. This is also 1 3/4 inch, so it wouldn't get a top on it. I've also got my Firebird template that I could do another Firehawk guitar. If I went with another Firehawk guitar, I don't think I'd do it in walnut, although I do have this lovely walnut drop top. And if I build that, I'd go with this Sapele wood blank. This is already down to 1.5 inches, and then 2/10 of an inch for the top makes just about the perfect thickness for the body. I also have this Paul Reed Smith style that I'm actually going to be building for a friend of mine who's looking to have one built. What I've got for that is this lovely piece of mahogany, and I have this really nice flame carved top that I could put on it. Although he's wanting a quilt top, so I may use the carved top as something slightly different. I may put it on a LP style body and see how we go from that. Coming very soon in the future, I'm going to be doing an Explorer style build. What I have for that is this lovely piece of ribboned Sapele I got from Kimball Hardwoods. That is a super nice body blank, all ready to go. So tell me what you think. Should I go LP style or should I go Paul Reed Smith style as the first build? I'm really leaning towards the LP style. It's kind of what I'm looking to do, and it's going to be all mahogany guitar. I'm going to be doing some things different on it. I am going to do a small carve on the top to give it some dimension there. I will be using a mahogany neck, but I'm also going to use carbon fiber reinforcement strips on the neck, as well as a truss rod with the heel adjustment in the truss rod with the wheel at the heel of the neck. I'll also be using probably a rosewood fingerboard, something just straightforward, just something that you can grab and go. So tell me what you think. As I mentioned, for the neck, I'm going to be using mahogany. What I've got is I've got 3 nice strips of mahogany. And what I'm going to do is I prefer to do a laminated neck. Plus, I like the deeper heel of a set neck, and either with the guitars I build, there's going to be a set neck. So what I'll do is I'll laminate these 3 together. I'm going to surface them, go through surface and prep them, and then I'll laminate these together. I'm not going to put strips between these. I'm just going to leave it as the mahogany so it has that nice unified look to it. But I think this will turn out to be a really nice neck when it's all said and done. So the first thing I want to do with this is I want to go ahead and get this surfaced to where I've got nice squared surfaces on both sides. So I'm going to run it through my joiner. I'll run it through both sides, and then I'll run it through the bottom or the top, whichever you prefer to call it. That way I have 3 squared sides, and that way I'll probably run the 4th one through it. That way I got 4 nice prepped sides, and I'll have a nice square neck blank. All right, here we go. 3 nicely milled neck blanks, all nice and squared up. And of course, I'll check them with the square before I do it, but this could turn into a nice guitar neck. All right, well, I figured before I got rolling along too far on it, I better check to make sure that I've got enough for my neck blank. And I do. It's wide enough here. I'll have to put wings on it, but that's no problem. I anticipate doing that anyway. I'm gonna redesign a 3x3 headstock for this, so we're going to see how it goes. I'm probably not going to use the LP shape one. I'm going to use something slightly different, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I've got plenty of room. All right, I'm getting ready to join these neck blanks up now. You saw me run them through the joiner, and what I've done is I ran them through on all 4 sides. I checked them with the square. They're all nice and square. I'm going to use the 3 pieces, but what I've got is I took a look at the way the grain's running. The centerpiece was grains running almost straight across. So I'm just going to use that one as the centerpiece. And then on the side pieces, I've got the grain corresponding coming up. So that way on both sides, the grain's swooping the same way on both sides, so it's putting the same amount of pressure on the inside. And then that center one is almost quarter sawn anyway, so I don't need to split that one and reverse it, because that's what I was going to have to do. If the grain was coming up and down with it, I was going to have to rip that piece and flip it over and kind of book match it together. That way I've got equal tension on both sides. Is kind of what I was gaming for. But with the way the orientation lays out on these necks, I don't have to do that. So I'm just going to do it as a 3-piece neck. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get it prepped. I get my dowel holes drilled to where everything doesn't move, and we'll get it glued up and ready to go. All right, I've got my pilot holes drilled to keep these things together. What we're going to do now is just go ahead and glue this up, get this neck blanket ready to cure and ready to dry. And the dowel's in a position to where it'll be cut off with the waste material when I do cut off the edges of the neck. This is fairly lightweight mahogany, actually. I was really surprised with how little it weighs. So it's going to be nice to have that on there. It's going to be a nice weight for the guitar, I believe. And like I said, I'm going to be using fiber reinforcement rods on this one. So I'm not too concerned about the neck moving once I get it all put together. Start snugging these down now, get some nice squeeze out. Got just the littlest bit of squeeze out, which is perfect. That means there's just enough glue in the joint. As you can see, we got some good squeeze out along the top of the neck and across the bottom. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this video. I'd like to say thank you very much for tuning in. Please, if you like what I'm doing, click like, click subscribe, leave me a comment below, especially concerning the body shape on what you'd like to see on this build. Basically, it's down between either the Paul Reed Smith style or the LP style. I'm leaning heavily towards the LP style myself because I am building that as well anyway. So you know, that's something to think about. I may primarily focus on that unless I get an overwhelming amount of votes for the Paul Reed Smith style, and then I'll delve into that too and kind of blend the two together. But until next time, thank you for tuning in and take care.